Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today I am reviewing Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Taiza, chapter 165? Yeah, 165. The Odd Couple. Very comedy kind of focused, and the relationship between Diana and King is always that, to be honest with you. If only they remembered. And the few interesting points that I want to mention with this one, but the ending, I love the ending. We'll get to see King go all out, I hope. But yeah, interesting chapter. Without further ado, let's get into this review. 5-point review coming. So point number one, the humour continues, and with Diana having no memory or recollection of King. He even tries saying to her in the chapter, he goes, "We're part of the Seven Deadly Sins. Do you remember none of that?" She has no idea. She remembers Meliodas somehow, so I'd imagine even before she joined the Seven Deadly Sins, she had that experience with him. So it's kind of funny how they're interacting, and because she thinks he's a human, she's got stuck down the boobies, and he's like getting a nosebleed like typical Japanese folks do. So it's funny. Now she's trying to go at it with Glockshina and Dolor's puppets, servants, the golem and the servant, I guess. What I found interesting for this point was just Kloshina's kind of attitude. She wasn't really interested. She's like, "Oh, why do you have to go through all of this? I'm just interested in Meliodas." She's really underestimating everybody else. I'd imagine having that deep-rooted kind of disdain for Meliodas, which we're going to find out about at some point. Is why she's not interested in anybody else. However, Dolor is more of a level-headed fool person. He seems to be more interested in the cause and effect. He's quite a believer of faith and stuff of that nature. It's going to be interesting to find out why he is even bad in the first place. But an interesting point for point number one. So point number two. Point number two was meant to be serious, but it's funny as well at the same time. So Diana's going crazy, going apeshit, swinging a hammer around, trying to fight Dolor's golem and Gloshina's servant, I guess. Though he doesn't look like Gloshina's servant is doing as much. And she's struggling, but at the same time she's like, "Why are you even passing out? You're not even fighting." And he goes, "Oh, I want to fight," because he's seeing that Diana's struggling. And she goes, "What can you do? You're just a human." He goes, "No, I'm a fairy." Because fairies have wings. He doesn't say anything. He goes, "But I can fly, and no humans can fly." So he tries to kind of prove that he's a fairy. So he transforms into the fat version of him, which is hilarious because her reaction like, "Oh my god, get off me!" And he gets sent flying. Now what's interesting is, as he gets sent flying, he lands right in front of the servant, which looks a bit like Elaine, but it looks also like some of the other fairies. So he recognizes her, which is interesting. I'm hoping they cover that and find out what's going on with that. Is the servant like the original form of what Gloshina was like, way back when, 3,000 years ago? It'd be interesting to find out. Even at this point though, Gloshina doesn't know that he's basically Harlequin, the Fairy King. So it's an interesting point that he's recognizing a person, but they don't recognize him. But I guess that's where the whole, because she's been demons, been locked up, been put away, she probably hasn't seen everything. That's possibly why. But it'll be interesting to see what happens and how they explain all of this. That's point number two. Point number three, caught unawares. So basically, because King has kind of like, "Oh, I recognize you," he's kind of caught off guard because the servant wraps him in a vine. The golem from Dolor seems to kind of go in there and want to do some damage, but having Chastafel around does help. He does a fifth form. He turns into the second form, which catches the attention of Gloshina, because she goes, "Spirit lands, Chastafel. You're not an ordinary fairy." He goes, "No, I am the current Fairy King, Harlequin." And he's like, "Ooh," she's like, "Ooh, you're the current Fairy King. Let's see what you can do." What's funny is Diana's like, "Harlequin or King? What do I call you?" It's like a bimbo moment. It's kind of, she's confused because she doesn't really know him, does she? Well, she does, but she's forgot. But it's interesting. But what this does is this prompts Kloshina to come up with a suggestion to Dolor. She basically suggests to make the servants power up to their full. So we haven't seen the full extent of the powers just yet. So it'll be interesting to see what they're capable of. We'll have to wait for the further point for me to expand on that. But that's this point. Let's move on to the next. So point number 4 is a little mini point really, but I found it funny when it happened purely because of the comedic timing. So mid-battle, while all this is going on, while Chastifal's second form Guardian is kind of taking care of Dolor's attacks at that point, he's talking to Diane, and he's like thinking inside, I need to muster up the strength and the power and the will to say how I feel. So he goes, I've got something to say to you. She's like, I got something to say to you. And just before he says something, she goes, yeah, your stuffed animal, your toy is getting the stuffing kicked out of it because that power up. So it was funny how it happened, although it was kind of sweet. He wanted to tell her how he felt. He really needs to tell her as soon as possible, because once she gets a memory back, they need to get together, which need to get that done. Them two together. We need to get Merlin with either Arthur or with Gauthor. With Escanor, and we should just move on. Really, we need to get these things shipped off and on our way. But that's point number 4. So point number 5 was interesting because we really got to see a little bit of the power of the golem and the servant, and they really doubled up on Diana. The Corm strangled her, and they were looking to pierce her in the heart, which really set off King. So King itself, he's in love with the girl. He knows he's known her for a very long time. He's known her the longest, but she just doesn't remember him because it was that long ago. She does eventually remember, but now she's forgotten again. But King hasn't. King always deep down knows exactly how he feels about her from way back when. And he does not like anybody harming her. It happened earlier on when in the previous arc. It's happened again, but this time he's really going in there. So he prevents an attack, and he releases his special, his holy weapon, and we see the true form for the first time of the second form of Chastafell, and he looks like a beast. He's ready to attack. Now, an interesting tidbit is Gloxina realizes the potential of King. She goes, "Oh, what interesting power!" So he was the one that defeated Albion. An interesting tidbit to bear in mind, I guess. We'll have to wait and see what happens now with him going all out, ready to give it some. I can't wait to see what he's capable of. We see bits and bats of it, but every time it's interrupted or he's held back for one reason or another. But there's a reason why he's a Fairy King and the reason why he's Harlequin. We'll have to wait and see and find out. I enjoyed this chapter. I give it a 7 out of 10. I really hope you enjoyed it as well. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the section below. If there's something you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. If something you didn't like, please give me a thumb down and let me know in the section below. As always, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And I'll see you in the next one. For now, peace.